Welcome to the very first episode of Youth Today, the show where we dive deep into issues that matter to young people. I'm Zara Chowdhury and I'll be your host. So, can you please introduce yourself to us?
Hi everyone, I'm Emmanuel Jah. I'm 17 years old. I go to Leeds College and I study politics, law, and sociology. I'm currently the member of Youth Parliament for Leeds and I'm also a youth ambassador to the Children's Commission of England.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so what's your role as a member of Youth Parliament for Leeds?
So as a member of Youth Parliament for Leeds, I have to be there as a kind of like a speaking tool for the young people in Leeds. I need to represent their ideas, any issues that they've raised up, and that they want to give up forward to the Leeds City Council or the government, for example, and also ensuring that young people can feel safe and in a comfortable environment where they're allowed to voice their opinions and to make sure that they're heard, essentially. So I think those are kind of the basics of being an MYP as well.
Okay, so what inspired you to get involved in youth politics?
The main thing that inspired me really was there were lots of issues happening around the world when I got elected as an MYP, even issues within my local community and Leeds overall. So I think mainly wanting to be a part of helping to change that essentially and to make sure that policymakers know that young people can also provide essential ideas and opinions to change, to have a bigger impact essentially within your community. I think that lots of young people these days, they feel like as if their voice is not heard because they think that maybe adults think they're immature or that, for example, they're too politically incorrect. But I think that being able to prove to people that young people can stand up and can make well-informed decisions, I think that could lead to encouraging other peers around us. And for example, I've got a younger sister, being a role model to her and showing that if you have your voice, essentially use it. Don't feel like as if you're going to make a wrong choice or you're going to do the wrong thing. No, be able to say what you want to say in a well-mannered way and being able to seem like as if you're an educated person as well. I think that can overall help being able to be successful in politics essentially. And you don't have to have a big, huge role or have 20,000 roles, but it starts by even going to a protest, for example, or watching like a leaders debate on the news. I think those kind of things inspired me to, yeah, be an MYP.
And those are really amazing reasons to be an MYP. Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
go on to the next question. So, if you could implement one major policy change in the UK right now, what would it be and why?
The British national curriculum, I think it's amazing in different type of ways, but I think perhaps by changing it to add more cultural things inside. For example, like with history, having more representation for Black people or for Asian people, or even with the poems that we do in English, for example, I'd say reforming the national curriculum and essentially making it so that everyone feels like they're represented. You know, some students, when they study certain things, they can't find themselves on the curriculum. They can't see themselves in lessons. So I think maybe with this new Labour government that we have, perhaps working together with experts from different backgrounds and communities, different teachers that perhaps have things that they want to implement on the national education curriculum, to implement more things about, for example, learning about Black figures in history, learning, for example, about Mansa Musa, the most richest man in history alive, kind of doing things where everyone feels represented because Britain is a multicultural part of cultures. There's so many people from different backgrounds and ethnicities and religion. And if we're all just learning about Shakespeare and about a white man that wrote about different things and the English history, it's a bit bland and it's a bit boring, isn't it? It gives you a lack of interest to study like English. I do understand that we are in England, obviously, but that's not who we are as a society now. We've changed so much. And I think perhaps seeing ourselves on the curriculum will encourage us to do our best. So changing the national curriculum to having more backgrounds and ethnicities being represented on there essentially.
I completely agree with you. In fact, we had like a lesson about Mansa Musa just briefly, and there was definitely
Yeah.
like some people didn't know about him. And so I think I completely agree with you. It's really important to like implement that change. So thank you so much. So, what advice would you give to young people who are interested in getting involved in politics?
The first advice I'd give to someone that wants to get involved in politics, I'd say that firstly, give it a go. Be confident. Even if you feel like you're a very shy person and you've never done anything political, or for example, you don't have a lot of political knowledge, I just say give it a try. See what you like and what you are very opinionated about and what issues matter to you. If you have had an experience, for example, with the NHS and being put on a waiting list and not being able to get an appointment, that's political experience within itself. You have faced an issue with a service within your community and you want to raise your voice about it and change it. It doesn't have to be necessarily sending a letter to Keir Starmer and saying that I wasn't able to do this and that, or I want you to change this. But even joining like local groups and, for example, youth councils, like we've got the Leeds Youth Council here in Leeds, and getting involved, even on social media, posting things that you feel more passionate about, but making sure that it's not too extreme or radical, that maybe people might not take your view seriously. So I'd say definitely just giving it a go, coming out of your comfort zone, coming out of your bubble, and being able to essentially say what you need to say and being happy about it, knowing that you've made like an impact within your community. So I'd say definitely that.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful answer. Okay,
Thank you.
it's the end of the interview for today. So thank you so much for the wonderful discussion that we've had and all your opinions, and they were really amazing. And like
No
talking about
worries.
current issues that face young people. So that wraps up our very first episode for you today, and I hope you really enjoyed. Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, everyone.